are no loud black women in the room that you're in, you're not in a radical space.
Is this thing stitching? I don't know how this thing works, but I hope the video stitch. And ooh, my dining room looks so empty. Anyways, I hope the video stitch. And basically I wanted to bounce off that because I recently got kicked out of a radical group because I said that them leading a workshop on empathy, including white people in the space, was giving mammy. And the lady said that I came into her house. Like she gave this comparison of like this stand-up comedy show and said that I basically came into her house and shit on it because I called her out. And at first I was reflecting, like, was I disrespectful, like the way I like said it? But anyways, it doesn't matter because it's just like me being disruptive and questioning, you know, the dynamic of the group and questioning whether or not you guys should be having a discussion and selling empathy cards to white people and leading a discussion on why, you know, their childhood trauma and how they grew up around violence and how they were raised to be violent towards people of color. I don't even like that word. How they were raised to be violent towards black people. Like we have to understand their background in order to blah blah blah. It was basically like somebody, and she also was giving an analogy of how she used to be a bully, and she bullied this Haitian girl, and then she saw her and had to apologize and all this stuff. It was basically giving restorative justice, and I didn't agree with it at all because the app was literally called a radical app. Like the name of the app was Radical, and we started off with like black women in the space. And what basically happened was me and this other black woman got kicked out because we didn't agree with the structure of the group, and we were basically calling it out in the middle of the meeting, and we called it out after in the black woman group chat. And it's like, how can you call yourself radical when you're kicking black women out who don't agree with you? And I did apologize because I was like thinking about how I guess my response in the moment was, and she said that I was acting like a Karen and blah blah blah, and I was like reflecting on that. But now that I look back on it, it was basically it basically, what is the word, like what the stitch, hopefully this thing stitched was saying, basically validated my whole experience. Like that was not a radical app, especially if you feel like, you know, the app is supposed to be structured in a way that only two people are supposed to be hosting and speaking the whole time, and anybody who's opposes needs to get kicked out of the group. That's not radical at all. That's definitely respectability politics, and it's giving like what is the word? Like, you know, when God be saying, oh, you turned my temple into a marketplace. Not to say that the app was a temple, but it felt like it was more like a performative thing that they were trying to sell empathy cards to white people versus actually having progressive conversations within our community.